Okay.
I'd love to have you introduce yourself and tell us about the film that you have here today at the festival.
Okay. My name is Wendy Lobel, and my film is Anxiety Club, and I'm the director and one of the producers. And Anxiety Club is a film about the experience of anxiety as seen through the lens of stand-up comedians, all who have anxiety and do stand-up material or sketch videos about their anxiety. And it's a look at what the experience is, how to deal with it. It's funny, and it's also, the comedians are very vulnerable and they talk about their personal experiences, and you see a lot of behind the scenes of what it's like to be a comedian. But it's really about the common experience of anxiety.
That's amazing, and that's such a timely topic, I feel like, especially with I know like mental health awareness month has been happening, and I'd love to hear sort of what was your inspiration for the project, and how the process was actually filming the project.
Okay. Well, I struggle with anxiety myself, so it's sort of my favorite topic. And I used to work on a kids' news program on Nickelodeon. It was called Nick News with Linda Ellerby. And I had done an episode about teens with anxiety. And it was around that time that I started thinking, like, this needs to be something bigger, something, for a larger audience. And because there are so many people who are struggling with anxiety, they don't know what to do about it. A lot of people don't even know they have anxiety. And so it sort of began at that point. And so it started around then. I started thinking about the different possibilities of how to do this. Originally it was going to be regular people with anxiety, and then it evolved, thank God, into comedians with anxiety, because that's really struck a chord. And it's good. It's been good to be able to talk about a serious subject through the lens of funny people, because they're so compelling, they're funny, and they're very relatable. But they're also, surprisingly vulnerable, like in the interviews. I mean, we see them on stage and they seem very confident and kind of untouchable in a way, but, in the interview they get very, they tell it like it is and talk about their emotions. And we follow one comedian through a certain kind of therapy called exposure therapy, and that's where you're facing your fears, your worst fears, in a very safe and methodical way, because when we have anxiety we tend to avoid things. People seem to be enjoying it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So great to hear. It sounds very interesting.
Thank you.
I'd love to know one last question. Is there any advice that you would give to any up-and-coming filmmakers, anything that you learned as part of your filming process and your experience in the industry that you'd love to share?
I mean, I think what's been helpful for me along the way is really talking to people, seeking out people who are maybe a step ahead of me, and reaching out to them. Hey, can I sit down and talk to you and just hear about what you do, and making connections, meeting people, talking to people, learning from people. And because if you're not, if you're just looking for that kind of connection, I think people are very willing to do that. You're not asking, hey, give me a job. It's just, hey, tell me about what your experience has been making this film, or what your experience has been, doing whatever it is that they're doing. So I think that's one thing that I would say. And I think you just, have patience. These things take time. This was my first feature documentary. It took me about 7 years, and I learned a lot. I took a lot of webinars. I would take in any information that I could along the way until it all finally came together.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
So great.
Thank you so much.
Go see it.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.